Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you are doing well. It is sort of crazy for me to think and realize and process the fact that we are already to the last week of January. I feel like from various things that have happened, I just feel like I'm starting January, but I do realize we're at the end. So happy making it 1 month into the new year. This past weekend, I had the great opportunity of sitting through a board meeting, which is super awesome. Shout out to the ecology school. Love serving on their board. Love everything they are doing, getting kids outside, connected to nature, engaging with science practices and thinking about math connections and being really conscious and mindful of what land are we on and what cultures are sort of there historically and there currently, and what's our space in that place, all the things. Love it. Shout out. But we did this really cool opportunity, or this really cool activity, as we were kind of connecting in and coming back from lunch and connecting in, I should say. I joined remotely because unfortunately I could not be in Maine this past weekend where they were getting snow and all of those gorgeous things that I would love, but no longer live near. But okay, I digress. We did an activity after lunch that was so fun and got my head spinning so deeply on we could use this as a do now or an exit ticket so easily in our classrooms. That helps us connect in with our students, get their thinking visible, that can be content dependent, and I bet you thought this, bet you figured this was coming, have a data connection. So I want to share with you all a picture of what we developed and kind of talk through where I think and how we can use this. So they called this a mind pie, which I just love, right? It's a pie chart. Now we have to kind of blur our eyes at realizing the size of the wedge of the pie are actually all equal from the start, because we don't actually know where people are going to place their items. So just kind of roll with me on that of it's data, but the size of the pies is not actually what we're using to represent the numerical data in this one moment. That could totally be a next extension if you wanted to have that data relation. But okay, let me explain. So each section of the pie is a statement. So we were doing it about our work together as a board and the organization more broadly and all of those things. But any of these statements could be anything that relates to your content. And this is where it could be really fun as a do now, as you're coming in. It's a Monday morning and you're thinking, okay, where are we at with stuff that we talked about last week? Not a fact recall, but a kind of I feel connected, or I enjoy, these positive affirmations of I feel confident about this piece. And why that affirmation piece is important, because then it's the next step. So everybody in the group gets 2 different objects. Here we used popcorn kernels and we used beads. In the past, the folks that were facilitating say that they often use rocks and leaves. And yes, they're the ecology school, so that makes a lot of sense. But what I also loved about it is that it was a rock, and here we used popcorn, as something you feel rock solid on. To your core, you're feeling super confident, good to go. And what they use a leaf for, we used beads for, was thinking of, I'm feeling, I'm not rock solid, but I'm more than nothing. And so you could kind of, like a leaf, you could kind of be blown around a bit, but you feel like you could land there. And then what's great is that once everybody's voted, the point is not to see where people have voted, but the point is to look for patterns in your responses. Now, you can do this as a full group like we did. We were like, oh, look, all of us feel rock solid about spending time outside. Not surprising for those of us that, were in the room. But then we can also make comments on different things. This could be something that you could do as a full class if you wanted to, if you were doing it as a do now, or is just a great way for you to get a sense of what your students' thinking was. If you're using this as an exit ticket, you could kind of do that quick look of like, okay, where are lots of rocks? Where are lots of leaves showing up, or whatever objects you choose to represent those two options? Where is nothing showing up? Do I have any gaps? Are none of my students reporting on something? So visual way, a nod to our pie chart or our circle graphs, with the caveat that the wedge size isn't actually in the moment representative of our responses. You could make that shift if you wanted to make the pie chart of their responses. Sure, have at it. But just wanted to share out of a like, here's a different way of presenting students with data, getting students to analyze and interpret data and respond, get their thinking visible, that can be 100% about our content. So we are getting a sense from our students on where they're at with our content, and at the same time, building their practice and repetition and exposure on these data skills, on these graph types. And speaking of graph types, I want to say one more thing. This week is our last week that we are doing, that we are looking for people to join us and give us feedback on our idea on the resources that we're building out around graphs and the graphing course. So I will drop this link below. Please click on it. I've got times, so I still have some times tomorrow and on Friday, and would love to hear your thoughts and opinions about graphing and having your students make graphs. So happy Monday. Enjoy this new option for a do now or an exit ticket. I would love to hear how it goes. And if you've got some time tomorrow or Friday, please jump in and grab one of those graphing calls. It would be such an honor to talk to you and learn from you and have your expertise and your experience inform and drive the resources that we're building out and will be pushing out in the coming months. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy your Monday.